A new year and a new chart of the best players in the world. The player power rankings are back, something I do a couple of times a year, in the middle of the year and at the end of the year, looking at the top 10 players position by position so we can have the debate and then declare the best players on the planet. Who wears their jersey the best in the rugby universe? I was starting with loosehead prop. Obviously, shirt number 1 first up. I'll be doing a new video on this every single day for the next 2 or so weeks until we have shirts 1 to 15 filled. And loosehead prop to start with. And when you look around the world, there is a seriously strong field of contenders here. And this is what the chart looked like last time after the July test matches. A reminder of the criteria, by the way. I take into account current form. So the rugby we've most recently seen, the November test, still relatively fresh in the mind. We take into account historic form. I think it's important to respect and value a player's entire body of work. And that avoids having top 10s that change massively from one version to the next. And it should make the rises and the falls a little bit smoother. And also baked into this as well is a little bit of gut feeling as well. This is a game of opinions, isn't it? And I would love to know yours. So please tell me yours in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers. And yeah, let's go with a brand new player power ranking for a brand new year. Obviously, 2 players that were on the list last time are going to be affected. Joe Marler has retired from rugby, so he will vacate his position. And Stephen Kitsoff has had life-changing surgery. If he just gets back to, well, just gets back to having a pain-free, comfortable life, that will be a success. If he gets back on the rugby field, Stephen Kitsoff will deserve the biggest of heroes' welcomes. I would never rule him out of returning to this top 10. But obviously, while he just gets himself well, the priorities have shifted and other players will be on that list instead. I can say there are those 2 players dropping out. So there are 2 new faces on this top 10. There are 5 players going up and 5 players staying exactly where they are. It's time to find out with a new year, a new player power ranking top 10, and will it be a new morning routine for you? This video is made possible by AG1. Now, I hope you had a lovely Christmas. I did. I'm about 84% cheese currently. And that's the thing. Christmas is like a rugby player's off season. You can just let yourself go. And I did. But when the new year comes around, well, it's like a rugby player's pre-season. It's time to get to work. It's time to build healthy habits and focus for a brand new year. And that is where AG1 comes in as an essential part of my morning routine in 2025. Now, thank you for your support of the channel in 2024. It's been incredible, beyond my expectations, but I'm thinking bigger and better for 2025, which is where AG1 comes in because it's got over 70 different ingredients, vitamins and minerals like copper, like chromium, like phosphorus, which helps unlock the energy from the food that we eat. And also, it's a Lions year this year, isn't it? The British and Irish Lions going to Australia. The Springboks are in New Zealand. The Six Nations is just around the corner. I want to take the channel around the world again. So as well as energy and focus, I need an immune system which is going to support me on my journeys around the world. And this has got vitamin C, zinc, and more to support overall immune health. Now, I'm a simple man, so over 70 different ingredients for less than a cup of coffee, jobbed. And if you would like to give it a shot and get a free bottle of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription, go to drinkag1.com/eggchasersrugby or scan the QR code now. And thank you, AG1, for sponsoring today's video. At number 10, it's a new entry. Gerhard Steenekamp for the Springboks has come into the side since the Rugby World Cup. He's had 11 caps since then, has been backing up Oxenche, and he hasn't started a game yet for the Boks. He's been on the bench in those 11 caps. Is that reflective of the fact he's not fully trusted yet, or is it just that's how good Oxenche is? I'm minded to say that is the case. He's also only 27 and only starting his international rugby journey. I think Gerhard Steenekamp has made a really good impression. Solid scrummager, but his work rate around the park is massive, and you see that for the Bulls or when he's wearing the green and gold as well. Gerhard Steenekamp is into the top 10. Will he be moving up it in the charts that are to come in the months and years ahead? Also back in, so we've got the 2 new faces in at numbers 10 and number 9. Ellis Genge, who was previously in the chart, then dropped out. He wasn't playing very well. England were getting dominated at scrum time, and all the positive things that Ellis Genge could do around the park with his ball carrying weren't was secondary to the fundamentals of just being able to hold up a scrum and do the solid set piece work. He was unavailable for the New Zealand series, but he started in the Six Nations and in the games in November. And I don't know about you, but he looked bigger. He looked more robust in the scrum. England's scrum was actually fairly good. And I don't know if he's been working on that scrummaging. He's 29 years of age now, so coming into his prime as a prop, and he's in form. And I think he deserves to be back in the top 10 and could be moving up in the charts ahead. But like I say, this is a really, really strong field of loosehead props. And at number 8, I've got Thomas Gallo of Argentina, only 25. He's got, well, he's only 25, but he looks about 15. He's like, there's lots of loosehead props. Finn Baxter's another one, like a giant baby. Big July and August for him in the Rugby Championship, Argentina's best ever performance in a Rugby Championship. And then he was very good through November as well, scored a try against France. And just such a busy player around the park. And like I say, so young, so he continues to improve set piece wise. Argentina have had a great year. Thomas Gallo have been one of their key men. He is at number 8 and moving up a spot. Also moving up a spot, Angus Bell. So good to see him back and playing. His return in the Rugby Championship and then his availability through November. I don't think it's a coincidence that we've seen Australia improving when Angus Bell has been back and involved. The guy is massive. He's 130 odd kilos, 6'4", and a barnstorming ball carrier, good jackler. He is just a class act, and he's only 24. He is a massive part of Australia's future and one of the guys they can build a team around for the next decade. He needs to stay fit. He looked absolutely gassed at the end of the November series in that game against Ireland. Nice rest and get ready for a big 2025 for Angus Bell. So he is up a spot to number 7. Staying where he is at number 6 is Ethan de Groot. Now, he played 3 out of the 6 Rugby Championship games and missed some because of injury. And he only made 1 appearance in November, and that was the game against Italy. He missed the big games because he was a naughty boy. Maybe we'll never know exactly what happened there. Maybe we'll have to wait for an autobiography. But the bottom line is, I was expecting Ethan de Groot to push on after the Rugby World Cup. He is coming into those prime prop years. He's 26 now. He's going to keep getting better, and he's a big old slice at 130 kilograms. But he's now got a battle on his hands for that number 1 shirt for New Zealand, which I think is going to push all of the contenders for that jersey. Tungafasi, Williams and de Groot. It's going to push them to get better and better, which is a great thing for the All Blacks. Who is going to come out on top? I think Ethan de Groot's definitely got the potential to be, at some point, the best loosehead prop on the planet. He's not there right now. He stays where he is at number 6. Staying where he is at number 5 is Pierre Schuman. He's just signed a new contract to stay with Edinburgh and therefore to stay nice and close to the Scottish national team, where he's absolutely beloved. You only have to listen to the cries of "Scoo" every time he gets the ball when he plays at Murrayfield. And again, a massive year ahead for Pierre Schuman. He is in contention. He'll go on the British and Irish Lions tour to Australia if he's fit and available. Will Pierre McSchuman. And he's got a potential to be a starter for the Lions as well. He was given July off by Scotland, who went on a tour of the Americas, and he's been big since he's had a nice rest over that July. He's got a new haircut as well. I'll have to update the picture of him. But Pierre Schuman at number 5. So we're getting into the top 4 now. If you've got any thoughts on the top 10 so far, like I say, current form, historic form, and a bit of gut feeling, tell me what your gut feeling is. There are players that I've not even mentioned yet that could have been in the top 10 list. When you think about guys like Nicky Smith, Danilo Fischetti, James Slipper, Finn Baxter, Ofa Tungafasi. But here we go into the top 4. And rising 5 places to number 4 is Mighty Williams. The Mighty Williams. What a player. And what a year he has had. Like I say, the reason I do the current form, historic form and gut feeling is to avoid a situation where players just drop like a stone or rise meteorically. However, for a player to go up 5 spots on the chart just speaks to what a massive few months it's been for Mighty Williams. I was very fortunate. One of my best experiences of 2024 was going to the Rugby Championship games in Johannesburg and in Cape Town to watch South Africa against New Zealand. I was so impressed with this guy in those 2 games against the world champions, up against Frans Malherbe and Vincent Koch. And he did really, really well. And then in November, was one of New Zealand's best players as they played in those big games. His performance against Ireland was seriously impressive. And 24 years of age. The potential of this guy is absolutely huge. So Tamaiti Williams is at number 4. Seremaia Bai stays at number 3. And again, this is the player that is why I don't just pick on current form. And I take into account historic form. Because Seremaia Bai hasn't played. In fact, he made his first appearance for months now, yesterday as I record this, in the game for Toulouse against La Rochelle. And that's his return from injury. It's so good to see him back on a rugby pitch again. He didn't play through November for France. In fact, the last game he played for France was in the Six Nations. He is such a classy player, Seremaia Bai. Softest hands in rugby. Such an intelligent player. Great scrummager. He can kick really. He's just, this guy has got an amazing rugby brain. He has got it all. And I cannot wait to see him back in Les Bleus, where he deserves to be. So, I've kept him at number 3. But he does not move above Andrew Porter, who last time out overtook Seremaia Bai, and he stays at number 2. Saw him play in South Africa, and he was big up against that Bok pack. Very, very busy in November, and again one of Ireland's best players against Argentina, Fiji, Australia. He is the favourite to be the British and Irish Lions number 1. He is, in my humble opinion, the best loosehead prop in the Northern Hemisphere. Andrew Porter, age 28, so still got his best years ahead of him, you feel, potentially. He is, I think, well worth his value at number 2. But no surprises whatsoever that Retshego Faditswe Nche, the Ox, is at number 1 again. I mean, not just the best loosehead prop in the world, one of the best rugby players in the world. And if you've been watching this channel for a while now, you know I led a campaign from about July, August, that this guy should be World Player of the Year, nominee at least. And I made the argument he should win it. Not to even get nominated speaks a bit to where World Rugby's priorities are in terms of the game of rugby. We need to celebrate characters and players like this who are truly world-class, peerless, head and shoulders above anyone else in the loosehead prop category. And I think potentially with his, again, like Andrew Porter, like some of the other players I mentioned, still with his best years ahead of him. He's 29 and powerful, agile, massive smile when he plays, but fearsome to play against. He's basically played every game almost for the Boks since the Rugby World Cup. And here's a really interesting stat. South Africa lost 2 matches in 2024 against Ireland and against Argentina. When Oxenche, who played in both of those games, when he was on the field, South Africa were in the lead. They lost the lead to Ireland and to Argentina after he went off. I'm not saying correlation doesn't equal causation, but I mentioned Gerhard Steenekamp. He's backing him up. It's really hard to bridge that gap, but maybe they need to get someone or get Gerhard Steenekamp closer to where Oxenche is, because this guy is out on his own. And that is your first top 10 of this current player power rankings, which is, I'll be going through, like I say, a video coming every single day. Hooker, the next video, tight head prop, and so on. But there is the top 10 for loose head prop. Gerhard Steenekamp and Ellis Genge back into the top 10, with Stephen Kitsoff and Joe Marler dropping out. The other 8 players stay where they are. 5 of them staying completely stationary. 4 players moving up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next video, which will be looking at hookers.